For over a decade, Lucasfilm was led by someone with unprecedented power over Star Wars. And today, that era is officially over. Kathleen Kennedy is no longer in charge. And frankly, this is long overdue. Lucasfilm and Disney have announced a leadership transition. Kathleen Kennedy is stepping aside, and Dave Filoni and Lynwen Brennan are stepping up. For some fans, this may feel like vindication. For others, it is a warning sign. For me, it's both. Because while one subpar era is ending, the next one is still a very big question. I'm Hightower, and this is Hightower's Hangout, where Star Wars news is analyzed with clarity, context, and respect for the legacy. Now let's get into what this actually means. Let's address reality head on. Kathleen Kennedy was a subpar leader for Star Wars and for Lucasfilm. Not because she lacked Hollywood credentials, and not because she lacked experience, but because of her leadership. Star Wars lacked long-term coherent vision. Creative consistency was replaced with constant course correction. The storytelling felt reactive rather than intentional. Yes, there may have been financial success, and yes, there was isolated, successful content created. But leadership at this scale isn't about individual projects. It is about stewardship. Star Wars, under Kathleen Kennedy, never felt as if anyone was at the helm. Star Wars felt fragmented, unfocused, and often disconnected from its identity. So when fans say they're glad that she is gone, that sentiment did not come out of nowhere. This, unfortunately, was not a firing. This was a controlled, delusional, corporate transition. That distinction matters. Disney does not remove long-tenured executives lightly. When this kind of transition happens, it usually means that something fundamental is not working. This is a signal of acknowledgement that this brand has struggled creatively, the audience trust has eroded, and Star Wars needs recalibrating, not just more content. Kathleen Kennedy stepping aside is Disney quietly admitting this approach has failed to deliver long-term stability. Now let's talk about the biggest question mark in the room. Dave Filoni is now president and the chief creative officer of Lucasfilm. On paper, that sounds reassuring. He understands Star Wars lore. He worked directly with George Lucas. He has delivered some stories that fans have actually connected with. But let's be honest, Dave Filoni is not a flawless storyteller. Dave has a tendency to over-prioritize his own characters, shrink the galaxy instead of expanding it, and blur the line between mythology and self-indulgence. This is not an attack. This is a recognition of a pattern. With that being said, I'm not writing off Dave Filoni, because for all of his flaws, Filoni understands what Star Wars is supposed to feel like. Or at least he used to. It appears that Dave respects mythic structure, earnest storytelling, and the moral clarity that defined the original and prequel trilogies. And here's the key difference now, and the hopeful difference. For the first time, Filoni is not operating under Kathleen Kennedy. Dave is the creative authority, which gives us a sliver of hope. This removes a major variable, and it gives Dave nowhere to hide. There's one more piece of this transition that deserves attention. Lynwen Brennan, now stepping in as co-president of Lucasfilm. And to be quite honest, I don't know what to think yet. Brennan comes from the operational side of the studio, budgets, pipelines, logistics, and structure. That can be a good thing, but it also raises concern, because modern studio operations often prioritize messaging, optics, and ideological signaling. What I am hoping for is simple, that Lynwen Brennan allows quality creativity to lead, while avoiding social justice warrior storytelling that places ideology ahead of myth, character, and narrative coherence. Star Wars works best when the story comes first. It fails when messaging replaces imagination. If Dave Filoni is the creative soul of Lucasfilm, then Lynwen Brennan will be the structural gatekeeper. Brennan will be able to influence what gets funded, what risks are allowed, and whether creativity is protected or filtered. Brennan may not be the public face of Star Wars, but her impact could be just as significant. The hope is balance, not activism, not corporate checklists, just space for strong storytellers to tell strong stories. When fans talk about returning to the original and prequel trilogy glory, they're not asking for nostalgia bait. They're asking for very simple things. Clear heroes and villains, mythic long-form storytelling, a galaxy that feels vast, serious, and consequential. Star Wars worked when it was treated like a legend, not just producing content. If Filoni can resist shrinking the universe, and if Brennan allows creativity without ideological pressure, there is a path forward. A narrow path, but a real path. The bottom line is this: Kathleen Kennedy's exit is a relief. There's no reason to pretend otherwise. Dave Filoni's promotion is a gamble. There is hope. It's cautious hope, but there is hope. Lynwen Brennan is still an unknown variable. Star Wars does not need to be reinvented. It needs to be remembered. And whether that happens now depends on whether Lucasfilm's new leadership can rise above the past mistakes and honor the legacy that made Star Wars matter in the first place. I appreciate you watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you want honest, clear-eyed Star Wars analysis without the corporate spin or manufactured outrage, where we honor the legacy. You're in the right place. I'm Hightower, and this is Hightower's Hangout. May the Force be with you, and as always, we'll see you in a galaxy far, far away.